everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's Kiki, which is doing fun recaps and reviews of Vanderpump Rules, and also we are going to get into the Real Housewives of Miami. But before we do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a Kiki is always better with community. Check out our description box down below and join our newsletter. It is 100% free. You get a free self-love guide. And also, while you're down there, don't forget to check out our self-love journal. That's right, you guys. We do a lot of pop culture, a lot of reality TV, but we also do self-care and wellness as well. So check that out down below. Check out the podcast, books, courses, and more. So with that, let's dive right on in. So before we dive into the Vanderpump Rules and the Real Housewives of Miami stuff, and put it down below which one you want us to start with. Do you want us to start talking about Vanderpump Rules first or about Miami first? Put it down below. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about what's been going on Instagram, on YouTube, with NBC Universal shutting down people's accounts. I've been seeing that. I think it was like Queens of Bravo. They tried to shut down, and all these other creator accounts that NBC Universal was trying to shut them down because they were posting, Real Housewives stuff and Bravo stuff. And I think it was connected to the Real Housewives of New Jersey, I want to say. They were also really trying to crack down on stuff. And, Bravo, NBC, if you're listening, this is the wrong road. This is the wrong road. You are heading into very dangerous territory, NBC and Bravo. Very dangerous territory. When you start trying to crack down and get rid of social media accounts that are highly engaged and also highly influential with your shows, you're basically asking us not to watch your shows. Because I honestly was like, why am I even going to recap these shows if the people who are making money off of it, NBC, Bravo, are cracking down on other content creators? Why should I support their shows, put money in their pocket when they're trying to come after us? Thankfully, I guess I'm like, I don't know. They haven't come after me, thank goodness. But I've seen it on Twitter, on Instagram, on all of that. YouTube, the Housewife historian was talking about it. So was Queens of Bravo, how they were going after content creators and trying to get their accounts shut down. So NBC Universal, this is the wrong road. Again, tone deaf. You have no idea what the hell you're doing. Instead of trying to shut down our accounts, instead of coming after us, you should work with us. You should be working with the content creators who are influential in your space, because without us, your shows don't have an audience. And without an audience, you don't have advertisers. Without advertisers, you don't have money. So all the content creators talking about Bravo, we're all like, hold on, are they going to shut down our accounts? Anyway, I just wanted to get that out the way because that's been on my mind this week, and it's been a hot mess. And I heard that there were some housewives over in New Jersey who are really spearheading the campaign to shut down people's accounts. Wrong road, NBC. Wrong road, Bravo. Wrong road. But anyway, let's dive in. Let's see. Where do you guys want to start? Do you want to start with Vanderpump Rules or do you want to start with Miami? Put it down below. And I want to give some shout outs. I said yay to At Reality Tea with Krista Marie. I can't see her comment, but she was in here and she's a new channel member. So shout out to her. Shout out to Nataski. She goes, yay, I've been waiting for you to break these two down. Well, we are about to do it. We're about to do it. I won't be showing any clips or anything because I don't want them coming after my channel, which is ridiculous. Why are they coming after the people who are making their shows relevant? Because quiet as it's kept NBC, quiet as it's kept Bravo, your marketing does not make your shows profitable. Like, let's just call a thing, because to be honest, your marketing sucks. The little promos you guys do, miss me with that crap. Your marketing and advertising do not make your shows pop. What makes your shows pop is us. The content creators on YouTube, the content creators on Instagram, the content creators on Twitter, the content creators on Facebook, this, that, and third, who are talking about your shows, having ideas, having people become engaged in the shows. That is what makes your shows profitable and pop. Again, I don't know who they're taking their direction from, but NBC, if you need an actual person with a little bit of common sense, you can call me, because everything you guys been doing, and let me know if you guys heard about this too. Again, I'm scared to put anything up. I'm scared to show the receipts because they've been taking down people's accounts. Wrong road. Daska is also Alexia gives me more ostrich than barracuda. Alexia's got some problems. She's got some problems. Foxy says definitely the wrong road. Exactly. Fox says, hey, Candy. Hey, sweetheart. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with Miami. And I don't have any notes. We're going to freestyle this. So put down your questions, put down your comments. We're going to freestyle it. Hey, Barbara. No, you're not late. You are not late. You are not late at all. You're welcome. I'm going to drop the link early because let's just talk. Let's just all talk. If anybody wants to come up and chit chat, you're welcome to. So there's the link. Okay, now, Real Housewives of Miami. Let's get into it. Oof. Where should we even start? All right, I'm going to start with the beef that Marisol. Okay, so Marisol coming in. Did that not remind you guys of the Jill Zarin moment way back with the Real Housewives of New York, when Jill Zarin came in and she was like, "Hi, I'm here." I think it was at Scary Island, and it was right after Kelly Ben Simone had her breakdown, and they were like, "We can't. We can't. You need to go." That gave me those vibes. You know, when Marisol came in, she's like, "Hi, monkeys, I'm here." And it was like, oof, like the mood changed, the vibe changed, all of that changed. And I really think it just showed how, and I like Marisol a lot. I think she has great one-liners. She might need to eat. She might need to put down the cocktails, but I like Marisol. However, she's messy as hell. And you can tell the whole vibe of the group, because they had been vibing. Sure, they had their spats here and there, but it was like more like nothing burgers, light drama, whatever the case may be. But they were actually making leeway. You know, Adriana and Alexia were actually really, you know, they were talking and they were getting to the core of the stuff. And I think that if Marisol had not popped up when she did, I think that they could have gotten to a much deeper resolution and actually solved some stuff. I don't know why Larsa is trying to be the Kyle of the group. She's trying to be the Giselle of the group, where she just takes a bone and carries it back and stirs the pot and brings up stuff and drops in down rumors. Maybe because she doesn't want anybody to focus on her lack of storyline and her lack of personality. I know some people like Larsa, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what Larsa really gives, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. But when Marisol came, it was definitely a shift. And I do think that she has really stirred the pot with a lot of the girls. I think she feeds Alexia all of these, quote, rumors and stuff. Oh, Adriana's boyfriend is married. Oh, you know, Dr. Nicole slept with everybody in the hospital. Blah, 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 blah. You know, she feeds a lot of that. And honestly, Marisol, you just got, you know, turnabout's fair play. Adriana's like, if you want to feed all this stuff to Alexia, wind Alexia up, then Alexia goes and carries the bone to the group. Well, then I'm going to drop a little thing about you. You know, your boyfriend that you had all those years ago tried to hit me up. He slid into my phone. He texted me, wanted to be with me, and he said he never loved you. Doesn't feel good, does it, Marisol, when somebody tries to sabotage a relationship and intentionally hurt you? Turnabout's fair play. Turnabout's fair play. You know, you wanted to make Adriana feel some type of way, and it turns out her boyfriend was divorced, and clearly he's probably not talking to her anymore because he doesn't want to be on a show publicly. I think he just stayed with Adriana long enough to clear his name. You know what I mean? To clear his name. And then he was like, and I'm out because I'm not with the BS. Now, let's see who else is going on. What else do you guys have? Ask them questions. Because to be honest, I feel like the Real Housewives of Miami, it's good. But do you guys think it's getting a little boring? And that's always the question, right? Where it's like, how do you keep it lighthearted and fun, but without skewing boring? I do think that Adriana hurting her leg was a way to deflect and to not have to deal with stuff. I think Alexia is going through something. She seems really upset and very angry. I think Dr. Nicole is the MVP. Do you know what I mean? I definitely think she's the MVP. I think that she looks great. She's doing great. She has the money. She's dipping it and she's doing it. Julia, sorry. Julia, I think that Barbara says, no, I think it's great. These girls know how to have fun and spend a coin. True. That is true. It is a fun. It is a fun. And this is another thing. I love how they're doing events that are actually fun. Like the whole, like the rage thing where they all got together by the ocean and they're just like screaming like, ah, and Kiki's like really into it. And she has her little fun moments where she's like, I'm not getting any. So like my little lady part vagina has to scream at stuff. I think Kiki's having a moment. She's growing on me. I like her kookiness. I don't like it when she pops off, where she goes from 0 to 100, but I'm really liking her kookiness. I'm really liking that when it comes to Kiki. Now, who else is there? Lisa. I feel really bad for her. She's getting so thin and tiny. You can tell she's really concerned about her children. Lenny to me seems like a monster, like an absolute monster. Like, Lisa, you don't need to go back to him. You don't need to try to, quote, save your marriage. I think you need to get away from him. And I've said this before, and again, I'm not saying he's done this, but I will say this. Lenny gives the energy that he has put hands on Lisa before. Just their vibe. Again, I'm not making an accusation. I'm just saying an observation. The way her body language is with him, the way she talks to him, the way he talks to her, I don't know what's going on there. But Lenny, I think you're in a Lifetime movie situation with your new girl. I think I think she's frauding you. I think you're going to be on an episode of American Fraud, American Greed, Scammers. She's frauding you some way, somehow. Probably with the help of somebody else to milk you out of all your money, because I don't think it's true love. I don't think it's real love. But I do feel really genuinely bad for Lisa and how that's all playing out. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Oh, and I will say this. Prior to Marisol coming, I loved the vibe of the girls. They were laughing. They were kikiing. It was so cute when they had like the young group versus the Golden Girls. I thought that was a really good vibe. I thought we saw Alexia change a bit. She was open to Dr. Nicole. She was laughing. She was having fun. She was tubing. She had more life in her. Again, I think something's going on in Alexia's life. Maybe the marriage isn't as happy as she says it is. Maybe something's going on with the kids. Maybe it's also just something going on with her. You know, it's not always sometimes, particularly as women, it's always like, oh, what's going on with your man and the kids? But maybe there's something going on in her where maybe the marriage is fine. Maybe the boys are good, but she's lacking purpose and passion within herself that's just for herself. Maybe that's why she's so angry and distraught and all of that stuff. Who knows? But she's definitely stirring the pot. Now, this is a thing where I am on Marisol's side, is with Julia and her stones and her sage and her this, that, and the third. I'm with Marisol on that. I don't accept everybody's energy. I don't accept everybody, quote, gifts. I don't accept everybody's prayers, blessings, any of that stuff. Absolutely not. No, thank you, ma'am, Pam. So I am on Marisol's side with that, because do I think Julia is trying to do, quote, bad witchcraft on them? I don't know. Well, I don't know, because there's something very sneaky about Julia. I think she plays dumb, but she's actually really smart. I think she plays naive, but she's also very strategic. I think that her and Martina's marriage is not happy. At this point, I think they're more like roommates, than anything else. Like Larsa said, she was caught kissing a man. I think that's true. I think Martina is doing Martina in Aspen or wherever she's at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I don't know. I don't know how much of Julia do I believe. Do I think she's actively trying to do like spells on them in a mean way? No. But I do think that she was being shady as hell. I think she was reading the girls with the stones. So with Marisol, I'm with her on that one. Gertie, I'm liking more. The more she's calming down, the more that she is, you know what I mean, coming into herself. Fox says, hey again, Barbara. Barbara says, hi, Candy. Fox says, hey, girl, hey. Barbara says, I remember that with Jill. It was giving like they were trying to recreate that moment from Scary Island. 100%. Barbara says, my mood and vibe changed when Marisol showed up. Also, yeah, she ruined the vibe. Any type of resolution that Adriana and Alexia was about to come to, Marisol made it her point to mess it up. And although I do think that Adriana is going through something, I think she's right. I do think that Marisol and Alexia kind of mean-girled her. I think they looked down on Adriana, and I think that they did, do their own thing and left her out. And so I get why when she came back on the scene, she was so close to Julia, that codependent relationship, because she felt left out from her original group of friends. You know what I mean? So I get that. And I do feel bad for her in a sense. What I don't like about Adriana is the comment that they keep replaying where she's like, oh, I have the same bracelet, but I bought it myself. I'm like, girl, I love you, Adriana. You're a bit of a mess, but don't shame other women because their husbands buy them gifts. You're literally on the show called The Real Housewives of Miami. That's the essence of being a housewife. I get it. Your marriage broke up. I get it. You were cheated on. I get it. You're figuring out how to, sustain your life on your own financially until you meet somebody else. That all makes sense. But you're literally on the show called The Real Housewives. So don't try and shade Alexia. And that's why Alexia read you for filth when she was like, you come at me because the life I have, you want. I think that if Adriana had a husband or a man who was willing to buy her expensive things, I'm pretty sure she would take them and be happy about it. So Adriana, chill on that one. However, I don't think Alexia is as, quote, happy in the dream life she's alleging that she has. Barbara says, at Foxy, Marisol annoyed me last night. Annoyed, yes. Marisol is annoying. She is. She's another one who it's like, you're not as happy as you are pretending to be. There's something up. Also, why is she not legally married to her, quote, husband? And did you also catch how she said, oh, I can't get too tipsy because if I go home, my, quote, husband, even though they're not legally married, whatever, doesn't like it? Is there trouble at home due to her drinking? Because people always tell on themselves, right? So is there trouble at home due to her drinking? I think that would be a very interesting dynamic and question to have. And also don't forget her, quote, bestie, Alexia, said you only got married to have a storyline for the show. So maybe that's why it's not a legal marriage. They're pulling like a Robin and a Juan situation, right? Where she needed a storyline, she needed relevancy. Let's say we're married in order to be relevant, but it's a spiritual ceremony, right? Foxy says she did what, Barbara? Yeah, she annoyed her. Barbara says she stirs the pot too much and passes a lot of rumors around. Yeah, I think this was in reference to Larsa. Like, to me, Larsa's personality isn't enough to carry her. This is my personal opinion. And I think that she's sitting on bigger storylines. Like, why isn't she talking about Michael Jordan's son that she's dating? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like she just goes in, drops bombs, and then hides her hand. and then she carries the bone. I guess every show kind of needs that person, but when we have that person being Larsa, Marisol, and Alexia, it's like enough. Enough. Barbara says, no, I think it's great. These girls know how to have fun and spend a coin. This is also a very good point. Spending a coin. I think that's another reason why Miami is so fun to watch, is because they're going on like decadent and luxurious vacations. You know, they have really cool clothes and designer jewelry and the Birkin bags and all this, that, and a third. But speaking of, I think Marisol and what's her name? Dr. Tiffany Moon from Real Housewives of Dallas. I think they're having a beef over like, you have fake bags. No, you have fake bags. But like, that's the type of beef I want. That's the type of beef I want. You know, it's nice to have like the beef is about who has a fake bag versus other things. So that's nice. But they do spend a nice coin and they do have a very luxurious life. And I do think that's what's making it so much more fun to watch and so much lighter. And I'm 100% here for that. 100. But Barbara says, I love Nicole. She's my MVP. She's my MVP too. Because not only does Nicole make her own coin, but she also is married to, you know, her husband, who everyone is saying has all of his family money. You know, he makes his own money being a lawyer and his investments, this, that, and a third. So I'm here for it. I'm here for Dr. Nicole. She has great comes back. She's cute. She can read. She doesn't back down. I'm here for it. And I think a lot of the other women are very intimidated by Dr. Nicole. I think Larsa is very intimidated. I think Alexia is very intimidated. Quiet as kept, I think Marisol is very intimidated. Because if you've noticed, Marisol has come for Dr. Nicole since day one. Remember when she had that shady comment during the game and she was like, well, who do you trust the least? And she was like, Dr. Nicole. She started that whole thing. And I don't think that Dr. Nicole was being shady or untrustworthy. I think Nicole was actually just being normal. Like, we all kind of sit around with our girlfriends and we talk about stuff and we got quote gossip and all of that. I think that's what Nicole was doing. She was with her friends. She was gossiping about people, and it is what it is. I don't think she was out here trying to have this huge malicious thing against the girls. Like, Marisol, you're reaching, sweetheart. Foxy says, Marisol can be messy. Yes, but they all are sometimes. Very true. It's a part of the game. It's a part of the game. Barbara says, yeah, I wish I was at the rage thing. Me too. Honestly, me too. Me too. When you just sat there and you just scream into the ocean, you get all your rage out. Like, I was here for it. I was like, that's very therapeutic. Very therapeutic. Fox says, Lisa is not well and Lenny is truly vile. I agree. Yeah, I think Lisa is really struggling. Really, like, she's like a freaking bone at this point. I think she's really, really struggling. Even now, you know, even the pics, oh, you know, Lisa with her new IT boyfriend, you know, this tech millionaire. I still think she has some healing to do. Barbara says, poor Lisa, I feel really sorry for her and that Lenny is disgusting. How could he honestly think some 20-year-old is going to want some old fat guy like him for himself? Exactly. Like, I really do think that the new girl, the side chick, and this is someone who is actually a side chick. This person is truly a mistress, right? I think she's scamming him. I think there's a con going on. Like, I think he's a mark. Beyond just, you know, young, hot girl gets with older, rich guy for bags and money and cars. I think there's a deeper scam going on. Either something to do with his practice or maybe some type of extortion down the line, or like tapping into his accounts. Like, I just have a gut feeling that there is a deeper con going on with this girl. And I feel like he's literally going to be an episode of American Greed or Scammers or, you know, Lifetime, you know, Snapped, 2020 Dateline. I just don't see this ending well for Lenny. I don't. It's just a gut feeling. I feel like there's a longer con going on with this girl. Foxy says, the new girl is a gold digger for sure, 100%. I also think she's like a con artist. She's like, I don't know why, but I really feel like there's a deeper con going on with the girl and maybe somebody else helping her. That's just what I feel. Barbara says she has to be frightening him because he's quite disgusting. I'm his age. I don't find him attractive at all. No, Lenny's gross. Lenny's gross. And like I said, I get the vibe that he is comfortable with putting hands on a woman. Just his energy and the way he speaks to Lisa. I don't know. Like, I just feel like, and again, I'm not making any allegation. I just feel like he would put hands on someone. Natosky says, same. Fox says, the only thing the side dish sees in Lenny is his money. That's not love. Exactly. Barbara says, something's definitely going on with Alexia. I've never seen her mean like this. Yeah, I agree. Barbara says Alexia is jealous of Nicole 100%. Fox says Alexia is mean girl this season 100. She is. She is. And you can tell it's coming from like a deep unhappiness herself. You know? That's why Julia and Adriana were shading the girls with the stones. And she was like, this is what we want for all of you. We want you to have happiness, to have peace. Because it's clear they're very unhappy. Hey, a Vixen Forever says, yep, I think something is wrong in Alexia's marriage. The energy is off 100%. Barbara says, I agree with Marisol on that also. Yeah, the task is, that's true. Yeah, so this is when we were talking about not accepting everybody's gift or food or drink or energy. Like, I'm like that. Like, I don't drink everybody's drink. I don't eat everybody's food. I don't accept gifts, energy from everybody. And honestly, I wouldn't accept it either. I don't want a stone or a crystal. No. No. Miss me. Barbara says, Ed Foxy really mean. Foxy says, Julia is no dummy. Exactly. Julia plays dumb, but I think she's actually very, very strategic and very, very smart. I think Julia is doing her. And I think that the whole adoption thing, storyline, I think that's a fake storyline. I don't think that Julia and Martina ever seriously was considering adopting a child. I think it was all for the show. I think they needed a storyline. I also think they needed their marriage reputation to have a little bit of rehab, because the season before this, we all saw how disrespectful, not Alexia, Julia was to Martina. And then we saw this season how checked out Martina is from the relationship. I think the whole them adopting a baby was nothing but a storyline for the show. I don't think either of them had intentions for that. Like, Martina is like in her mid 60s, I think, at this point. And Julia is out here dipping it and doing it with men. Girl, bye. Barbara says, Julia is far from dumb. Don't underestimate her. Exactly. Exactly. She got that marriage without a prenup, didn't she? Mm-hmm. She got Martina to say I do with no prenup. Fox says, yep, so cruel and mean. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, a Vixen Forever says, Alexia and her husband do not give loving. They always seem to be combative. They should be in a honeymoon stage. I agree. And let me know what you guys think on this. So, not this episode, but was it the episode before? It was Alexia and Todd, Gertie, and her hot husband, whatever his name is. And then it was Dr. Nicole and her husband, and they were doing the gringo dinner. I was shocked at how aggressive Todd was speaking to Nicole. I mean, he then started talking to her husband, but he was talking to her very aggressively as well. And I was really shocked at Todd, because I thought that Todd was more level-headed, more cool-headed. But now I'm just like, are you just really controlling? Are you really mean? Like, the way Todd and Alexia were speaking to Dr. Nicole and her husband, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is absolutely nuts and bonkers. And I was really shocked at Todd. So I do think there's something going on with that situation, because it was not cool. It really wasn't. And this is the thing, like, your wife was there and Nicole was there. You could let the two ladies talk it out. There was no need for him to involve himself in that way. And I know that Nicole's husband also was in the conversation, but he wasn't being disrespectful and he wasn't yelling. he was actually just like, okay, well, whatever. We'll send the guy some, flowers and chocolates. Like, they're like, you're being so condescending. You're so condescending. You're so rude. It's like, no, it's like, he obviously is just like, this is a joke. You guys are getting out of pocket. We'll appease you. We'll send them an I'm sorry. We had no idea he was so offended. And to be honest with you, I think Alexia and Todd were lying. I don't think that the lawyer who was there was that offended. I think he thought these women are batshit crazy. This is a lot of weird drama. I probably shouldn't have my name and my practice involved in this situation because these women are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because they're all, drama and all that stuff. But I don't think that lawyer had a personal thing against Dr. Nicole, even though she had her black card moment. I think that was more Alexia being in her feelings that Dr. Nicole was like, oh, well, you want to talk about who's paying for this? Here's my black card. And it's her black card. I think it was Alexia who felt some type of way. And then I think Todd, to me, is a person who maybe he just wanted something to be angry about. But it was bizarre. Tay the Savior says Adriana went low. Adriana went low, but honestly, I was team Adriana with that. I was. Don't judge me, you guys. And don't judge me. But I was team Adriana because at this point, you have these women, and by these women, I mean Alexia and Marisol, who come, you can even add Larsa in that, but right now, let's just talk about Alexia and Marisol, who systematically come for everything about Adriana's life. They come for her looks. They come for her relationship. Like, they literally said, hey, we have the website. The guy you're dating is married. And then when he comes with the receipts, they're like, oh, we didn't scroll down all the way. Like, girl, you've been on camera multiple times saying that Adriana was sleeping with a married man. Multiple times. So the fact that Adriana was just like, oh, by the way, your boyfriend never loved you and he was trying to holler at me, but I'm such a good friend, I said no. Like, I love the shade. Like, I felt like Adriana was having a moment up until she, hurt her ankle, allegedly. I was here for Adriana because the whole ankle thing, I was like, girl, we don't need the dramatics. But I was here for it because there comes a point in time where you need to fight fire with fire. And Marisol and Alexia were never going to give Adriana any leeway. They talk about the way she looks. They talk about her finances. They talk about everything about her. They were saying she's having a mental breakdown, everything. They were going in on her. So, yeah, hell yeah. You want to say you're my friend for 10 years. You don't invite me to anything. You systematically ice me out of the friendship group, which is what Marisol and Alexia was doing. You talk about everything in my life. You're damn right I'm going to come at with you with something. There just comes a point with it. Barbara says, at Foxy, I know, and bitter. Hey, Natoski says, Marisol definitely ruined the vibe, 100%. Fox says, they definitely did, Candy. Yes. Hey, Barbara, play Mean Girl Adriana out last year, and this year more so. Yep. Hey, Foxy, very bitter Barbara. She should be happy with her man, but she is not. I agree. She's very bitter. Alexia is very, very bitter. And you know why I think she's bitter? I think Alexia is still in love with her first husband. That's what I think. I think Alexia is still in love with her first husband. I think if she had it her way, she would be with him. That's just the vibe I get. Let me know what you guys think. Barbara says they weren't nice to Adriana at all this season. Exactly. Foxy says Alexia seems miserable to me. Alexia seems miserable. Marisol seems miserable. Quiet as is kept. Larsa seems very miserable. I actually don't even think she's happy with Michael Jordan's son. I think that's just a look. It's a come up. But she doesn't seem happy. Barbara says Marisol is the one who spread that rumor about Nicole. Exactly. Barbara says, is it Marisol just a friend of? Marisol and Adriana are just friends of. I always thought that they were full-time housewives, but I think word on the street is that Marisol and Adriana are just friends of. Foxy says, I think Alexia is sad about her son and that he will never be the same again. Yeah, but the son's been, I don't know what the right word is. Is it disabled? I want to make sure I'm saying the right word because I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any community. So I hope the correct term is disabled. But her son has been disabled for a very long time at this point. So, but then again, I don't know what's the timeline for healing or dealing with it. But I think it's beyond Frankie. I think it's something else that's going on with her because she wasn't always like this. And for as long as we've known Alexia, Frankie has been disabled, but she's never been this mean. She's never been this bitter. She's never been this, you know what I mean? Natasky says Larsa is hiding stuff. I agree. I think Larsa is like Elisa Rinna. She's like a Kyle. She's like a Giselle and Robin. She goes in, she drops bombs, she targets people. Not as deep as they do, thank goodness. We're gonna make sure Miami does not go to the way of the darkness. But then she's actually the one sitting on the biggest storylines. Because I bet you if Larsa was being honest about her life, she'd have a lot of storylines to talk about. A lot of storylines. Mm-hmm. Hey, Miss J. Oh, you're so beautiful. I love your picture. She goes, Alexia seems like a narcissist. I'm waiting for the episode where the son tells her everyone gets along with the father, just not you. Oof. Oof. Yes, the son. Ooh. Ooh. See, and that goes back to what, good point, Miss J, because that goes back to what I was saying before, where I do think that Alexia is still in love with the first husband. And I think that she's very upset that it hasn't worked out. Or it didn't work out, rather. Okay, Barbara says, I don't like the way Marisol with that text out about Nicole. That was going too far. Marisol said, I don't know who sent it to me. She was lying. I agree. She was lying or she made it up. Because at this point, I don't put it past any of these housewives to lie. We've seen it literally time and time again where they just make stuff up. So I don't put it past anybody to put a lie out there, especially not Marisol. Izzy Belly says same. Natasha says not fake bag beef. Right? It's the best. I'm also like, and exactly where are you getting these fake bags from? I mean, I'm not above a fake bag. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really not. I'm not above it. So I want to know, where are you getting these Birkins? Where are you getting these bags? Let a girl know. I'm not above it. I would rather save my money for like a down payment on a house, or, you know, whatever the case is, or like a new car or a new something. I would rather, or just like to have savings, retirement. Like I would rather save my money and invest it in something more meaningful than like a bag. I don't know. That's just me. Latoski says, best franchise faux show. Yeah, it's good. Hey, Izzy Belly says, Nicole is normal to me and that makes her cool. LOL. Yeah, I agree. She wasn't plotting deeply. Exactly. Like, I really like Nicole. Like, Nicole is someone who I feel like I would be friends with. She's fun. She's cute. She's sarcastic and smart. Like, I really like Nicole. And I don't think that she was plotting against anybody. She was just with her girlfriends talking crap, which is what you do when you get with your girlfriends. You're like, oh, who's dating who? Who's doing this? Blah, blah, blah. Let's Google it. Like, she was just being a normal person. Nataski says, Nicole's literally being normal. There was no plotation or anything weird like that. Exactly. Barbara says, Larsa, Marisol, Alexia are jealous of Nicole 100%. 100%. Foxy says, Lisa needs to learn to take care of herself and her children. She don't need a rich man to do that. I agree. And this is another thing. I think Larsa, oh, you said Lisa. Sorry. I'm sorry. I agree. Lisa also needs to learn to take care of herself. Exactly. And I think that with Lisa, She needs to get the right lawyers. I saw some stuff that she's owes the lawyers like $85,000 or something like that. I don't know if she's able to get Lenny to pay whatever. I don't know what the situation's like. But yeah, she needs to get really good lawyers. She needs to get child support, alimony, get all that set up, cut ties with Lenny. He is toxic and evil, and focus on healing herself and taking care of her babies. That's really what Lisa needs to do. And I think Lisa needs to do some deep, deep self-discovery. I think Lisa doesn't really know who she is. I don't think she really knows her identity outside of being Lenny's wife. And I think that she needs to do some really deep healing and figuring out who she is as a woman, as a human being, as a person. Because I think that's really the sadness around Lisa. I don't even think it's so much that he's cheating. I think it's more that Lisa is scared because she doesn't know who she is outside of Lenny. You know, he got her when she was really young. You know, didn't she say she was like early 20s when he got her? Like he's a predator when he got her. So I think she needs to do some soul searching. Natasky says, not old fat guy. He's gross. Jack says, yep, my gut is getting something more to this new side chick girl. More. Right? 100%. Like there's some, like I can't wait for it to come out. I can't. I'm gonna be like, see, I told y'all. Barbara said they did mention about Lisa's furniture being cheap. I think it was brought up last season, and they mentioned it last night with a flashback. Oh yeah, they were talking about like, weren't the flooring from China or something like that? And no offense to China, but they were saying stuff like that. That is true. Barbara says, I hope she cons Lenny out of everything he has left after the divorce. This is what I hope. I hope they catch her and she doesn't get him, but I hope Lisa is able to take him to the cleaners, because she has been the one beside him for the last 15 plus years. She is the one who has the 2 children. So I don't want the side chick to get anything. I want them to catch her in the con, and then I want Lisa to take him to the cleaners, and she and the babies get everything. That's what I want. Foxy says, yes, Barbara. Hey, Avexen Forever says, wait, y'all didn't notice the weirdness from Lenny at the beginning of the season? No, we did. And that's another thing, you know, with social media, we kind of already knew about what was going to come up with Lenny and Lisa. So it was easier to pick up on. But yeah, we definitely saw the weirdness and everything. And even the other ladies on the show said, yeah, we've noticed it. He's probably been cheating for a year or more and all of that stuff. Hey, Zoph says, yes, I agree. My cousin married his home wrecker and she got a house in a new Audi. Long con. Lenny is filthy and ugly, smelly weirdo. Exactly. She's in for the long con. 100%. Latasha says, I love how we're all picking up the same energy. Yes. Hey, Ida says, I don't care for Alexia's husband. He's a little creepy to me. Yeah. Like there's something like, he gives me like mob boss. Doesn't he? Like he's a part of like the mafia mob boss. Very Real Housewives of New Jersey vibe. Zoe said, trade Martina for Julia. I know. I love Martina. I think Martina's fantastic. I also think Martina deserves better. Justice for Martina. The way Julia disrespected her last season, I was shocked they were even still together. Because I wish my partner would. I don't really. But you know what I mean. If my partner disrespected me the way Julia disrespected Martina, he would no longer be my partner. Bye-bye. Hey, Izzy Belly, I think Julia plays dumb too because of her relationship with that scary mob guy, and I feel like you need some smarts to be able to survive that. 100%. And wasn't that, like, that's another, this is one thing I gotta do. I gotta do some deeper dives into some other stuff, because especially with, I said this at the beginning of this live, but I'll say it again since there's more people in the room now. I don't know how I feel about Bravo and NBC. right now, because word on the street is that they are targeting content creators, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, and they're trying to get their channels taken down if they're showing certain clips or footage about, you know, their shows and stuff. I believe that they did it to Queens of Bravo and maybe some other ones. Housewife Historian was talking about it. And I'm kind of like, A, why would I jeopardize my channel because NBC Universal is in their feelings because they can't get their stuff together? And B, wrong road. Why are you trying to attack the accounts that actually make your content, and their content is their shows, relevant? I don't watch The Real Housewives because of NBC Universal's marketing and advertising plan. I watch The Real Housewives because I want to get up on here and talk with you guys about it and be engaged with you guys and have conversations and have kiki and have community. So I don't understand why NBC Universal is trying to take that away from us. If you post anything that's not NBC Universal approved, well, how are we supposed to know what's NBC Universal approved? Because they cherry pick certain people that they want to give stuff to and that they want to have on their platforms. It's ridiculous. So I don't know what got me onto that subject. Oh, that's right. I want to do deeper dives on other stories, like other true crime stuff, other, you know, cons and scammers and stuff. The mob stuff brought me up to that, but led me to that because Julia was with this guy who was like this mobster. Remember that story she told? This is so sad. She got pregnant and she had the baby, and the mobster guy was like, oh, I found, you know, this nanny for you. The nanny came and the baby passed away, and then the nanny mysteriously disappeared. And so she's thinking that, you know, he had the baby taken out, which is so sad. But then he had a very crazy demise as well. So a woman that he had been cheating on, you know, his other people with, she ended up ending his life in some weird, allegedly they're in some weird sexual act, and she ended up killing him, but I think it was intentional. So we could talk about that. That's a whole crazy thing. So he ended up being taken out himself by another woman. Crazy. Mataski says Martina doesn't have time for a new kid. No, who wants a new kid? Please. Zoe says, yes, Julia is trying for a storyline with everything. I agree. She's 100% trying. It's all for a storyline. Martina says, Martina is sick too. I hope she gets well. That's right. Sending lots of love and prayers and healing to Martina. I believe she has breast cancer and another form of cancer. I forgot the other one. So we are going to send her lots of love and prayers for a speedy recovery. Shout out to Martina. Natasky says, yep, Julia played dumb to avoid that prenup. That's her go-to move. Yep. Zoe says, yes, I pray for Martina daily. Yes. Barbara says, maybe that's why Alexia looks so unhappy. Maybe it's because of Todd. Yeah, maybe he's very controlling behind the scenes. Maybe it's a very different situation. And this is another thing. I think that when Alexia was with Herman, I bet you, even though obviously it was an arrangement, you know, he was gay and living his life and she was living her life, I think that her and Herman probably had a friendship. And he was like, you know, here's money, you go spend it, do you, I'll do me. But there was like a friendship there where I bet you with Todd, she's probably more controlled. What are you spending money on? What's this? What's that? Blah, 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 than she was before. I don't know. A Vixen Forever says, yep, exactly that scene at the dinner. Foxy says, at Zoph, prayers. Barbara says, Todd is a hothead from Staten Island, New York. Exactly. Izzy Belly says, Todd always gives me anger issues vibe. He reminds me of a family member, and the way he talks puts me on edge. LOL. Yeah, I agree. Nataski says, yeah, Todd is a hothead from Staten Island. Exactly. Fox says, exactly. What does Alexia Manns work with? I don't know. I don't know. Foxy says Tom reminds me of Tom Girardi. Yes, very controlling, very putting down. Zoth is giving love on to Niktoski. Barbara says Adriana didn't mean it that way. Those women, to Adriana aside, like she was garbage. They did throw Adriana aside like she was garbage, 100%. And then Larsa is right up there on the, put down Adriana train. Adriana, and I'm talking about when they were doing the massages, thought she was just confiding to her friends, having a kiki, being like, yeah, they say my life is so mysterious, which is a way to say, you're sketchy. That's basically what they were saying about Adriana. Your life is sketchy. Where you get your money from is sketchy. How you're living is sketchy. That's what they meant by mysterious. And Adriana was just saying, when she called her the B word, I agree. Adriana wasn't calling her like she's a B. It was just like colloquial, just like talking like, oh, like that B when she said da 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 da. But Larsa, thirsty Larsa, had to go then back and carry the phone to Alexia like she said it in a bad way. Larsa, shut up, girl. Natasha says, I'm here for that shade, not the Frankie part. I agree. Foxy says they have been horrible to Adriana. But the thing about the Frankie part is, I also don't think that Adriana meant the Frankie part in a malicious way. I think that they constantly look for something to take Adriana down with. Like when Adriana said the Frankie thing, I don't think that she was being malicious. I think she was actually just like talking. But no matter what Adriana says, they take it all the way down. You know what I mean? I don't think she meant it in a bad way. Fox says they have been horrible to Adriana. Exactly. Zoe says Adriana went into self-sabotage and her foot wasn't that bad. Yeah. I think Adriana was just like, I want to get out of this. Fox says Adriana should have been quiet about Frankie. This is what I think. I think she was in the moment and she said Frankie. And I think that she should have quickly apologized and was like, I didn't mean it that way. I'm so sorry. She should have went over to Alexia and hugged her. But I don't think that Adriana was trying to be cutthroat by throwing Frankie into the situation. I don't think she was thinking that far. I think she was like, oh, accidents happen, with Frankie. Like, I can see in the moment, your mind just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But I think she should have, the moment it came out of her mouth, she should have cleaned it up really, really quickly. Because I think it escalated because then, of course, Alexia has to go over the top. You're talking about Frankie. Yeah, Frankie. Like, shut up, Alexia. Like, honestly, shut up. And then all the other women, oh. And it's just like, everybody calm down. Like, honestly, everybody just take a chill pill. Adriana was just talking. Yes, she said Frankie. But did she mean it in a cutthroat way? No. But since it sat for a beat, it escalated. That's what I think, at least. Zoe says, yeah, she last met Frankie. Foxy says they should leave the children alone. Zoe says, I agree. Alexia might still be in love with the first husband, too. Exactly. Barbara said Marisol didn't seem miserable. I think she is miserable. Oop. Zoe says, I think Larsa is. Me, too. Izzy Belly says, yes. Latoski says, he has a traumatic brain injury. Yup. Zoe says, Larsa dating that kid to get Scotty mad. I think she still loves Scotty. I agree. Because the people pick certain people for a reason. She's trying to do a dig at Scotty. 100%. Why else is she dating that child? Fox says her son will never be the same again. I get why she is still sad about that as a mother. Yeah. A Vixen Forever says, I don't feel like it has nothing to do with her son. Alexa's behaving like a bitter biatch. I agree with Vixen. I don't think it has anything to do with her son. I think it has something to do either with her marriage or just her not feeling fulfilled as a person. Because you could have, quote, everything. You could have the cars and the money and the kids and the man, blah, 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 and still feel like there's something missing inside you. And I think that's what Alexia is going through. Sure, Todd is a hothead and sketch and all of that stuff, probably controlling. But I do think he really loves her. I don't know, but there's something else going on with Alexia, if you know what I mean. Izzy Belly says, I believe Larsa knows where the bodies are. That part. And Natasha says, oh my, Miss J. Soph says, at Izzy Belly, yes. Natasha says, at Sophie anonymously, totally. Yep. Miss J says, hit that like, Candy Canes. Thank you, Miss J. That's right, you guys. Get those likes up. Barbara says, Marisol came straight out and said it last season she didn't trust Nicole. Marisol never liked her. Exactly. Exactly. Soph says, yep. A Vixen Forever says they are getting the fake bags from DHgate. Listen, if in a week or two I come out here with my bags, don't check the tags. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just messing. Ms. J says the gift Nicole sent Larsa shows Nicole as a class act. I love Nicole. I love her a lot. Zoe says, I like Nicole too. Exactly, but I don't like Anthony. Seems too emotional for me. Not too emotional. Damn. Natasha says Marisol probably was doing the same thing. So for her to call Nicole out like that is ridiculous. I agree. April's laughing. Tobias says, hey, y'all. Hey, Tobias. What's up? Soph says, Lenny is an evil weirdo. Yes, Lisa needs healing and more time. 100%. Hey, Strawberries and Candy. Says, Lisa messed up by saying that prenup without a clause to protect her financial interest. Yeah. Again, when he got her young, she probably didn't know what the heck she was signing and just had, pie in the sky. Barbara says, I think Lisa leaked that information about what she owes her lawyer is. It makes Lenny look bad, not Lisa. Yeah. The Toski says, I can sympathize with Lisa because Lenny is being evil, but I definitely think she's no angel. Soph says, Lenny pees on his peanuts. Lenny pees on his nuts? On his what? Tobias says, Lisa's playing that divorce as if it came from nowhere. Girl, bye. You knew. Oop. Nataski says, those floors were way too shiny and slippery looking. Nataski says, you're right. Foxy says, Lenny has been treating Lisa like crap for many years now. That was not new. True. Tobias says, Nacha, yeah. Strawberries and Candy says she can't take him to the cleaners. Florida is a no flaunt state, and she agreed to that garbage prenup. Eventually, the court will put her out. That is so sad. That is so sad. Zoe says, shiny floors. Tox says he's just Staten Island. Yes. Let's see. Strawberries and Kansas fake back support child and oh no, it all phones up. Oh no. Yeah, I'm not really gonna get a fake bag. I was joking. Scary though. Scary. Tobias says, I hate Nicole. I am sorry. Oop, I cannot with those doctors who need to tell you every 10 minutes what they are. Like this Osefa who killed her career with that show. I can't. Tobias. Tobias says, Adriana saying men leave us to find better. No, girl, did you see your behavior? It's the same for Lenny and Lisa. Can't take her anymore. The first divorce for the Austin. Oh, wow. Okay, you guys, let's flip over to Vanderpump